Hi there, this is Angela from Days in Bed, and I am taking part in the vlog Linky, which is called Vlogstars, and this is run by Abby from You Baby Me Mummy and Amy from Mr. and Mrs. T+3. So the theme this month is parent confessions. So I had to do a lot of thinking to try and think, well, what have I done which I can confess? So I'll come up with a small list, and so I better get started. So the first one I've got on my list is dinner time. Okay, I'm hoping I'm not the only parent in the world to have done this, but I have eaten some of my daughter's dinner before. I think sometimes she's, in the past, when she's had her dinner and she doesn't really want any more, I've finished it off. Yeah, I have done that in the past, and so that is my first confession. Another one is more recently. My daughter wasn't hungry. She didn't want to finish her tea. So I said to her, okay then, I'll save it for later. If you're not going to eat it now, you can have some later. And then, not thinking properly, I went and threw it in the bin. Then she came back to me and she's like, where's my dinner? And I was like, oops. Anyway, I went and got her some crumpets and made her a nice warm drink and remedied that problem. But yeah, I accidentally threw her dinner away. Yeah. My next confession would be New Year's. Yeah, on New Year's Eve. My daughter wanted to stay up until midnight, and well, me and my husband didn't want to stay up till midnight because she would have just been an emotional mess the next day. So we got the clock and we fast forwarded it by 3 hours. So Sylvia thought it was like really, really late when really it was 9 o'clock at night. And we did the countdown and jumped up and down and shouted Happy New Year. And we got out the schlur and had our drinks and celebrated, did our toast at 9 o'clock instead of 12. And then we tucked her into bed, and Sylvia thought that she'd stayed up till New Year. So yeah, that's probably something really naughty that we did, yeah, but funny at the same time. In the supermarket, well, Sylvia sometimes gets into everything at the supermarket. She'll want to touch stuff, and well, I often, cause I can't walk very far at the minute, I will jump onto a trolley. It's like a scooter machine, like when you go to Asda or Tesco's and you get on the scooter and drive around the store. And I guess my daughter, she always wants to get on the scooter with me, so I just give in. I say, go on then. So I let her drive the scooter. So I know some people look at me like, and they stare at us like, what are they doing? But I genuinely need to use it, and it can take the weight of both of us easily. So we do. I sit on the scooter and Sylvia drives, and she has the time of her life. She loves it. I don't think that's part of the rules, but we've never been pulled up on it, and we've never been told off, and people usually giggle and laugh at us when we do it, so why not? My next confession would be bribing my daughter. Yes, I do this a lot. Sometimes Sylvia does photo shoots for me and my husband, and she lets John take pictures of her for the blog, or I just want her to do something, be obedient, and just do the things that I need her to do. Or well, anyway, I bribe her with Shopkins a lot. Shopkins are these little toys that my daughter's absolutely in love with at the minute, and it costs about £2.50 for a small pack, and we usually buy one pack every week. And yeah, everything, it's like, well, if you behave, if you go get dressed, if you do this right, if you do that, we'll give you your Shopkins at the end of the week. And it seems to work really well at the minute. So yes, my daughter, she can't miss her Shopkins because she loves them so much that, yeah, that's my bribe at the minute. So it's working pretty well. The next one would be the Tooth Fairy. One night we put my daughter's tooth underneath her pillow for the Tooth Fairy, and I forgot. Literally, I forgot to take the tooth away and put money there. And in the morning she woke up and she's like, my tooth is still here. So anyway, I said, don't worry, maybe the Tooth Fairy's running late. So I went and popped her in the bath. This is a little while ago because we're in a house where we don't have a bath at the minute, which really sucks. Trust me, if you want any advice, do not move into a house without a bath if you have a little child. It is just so difficult, and Sylvia hates showers. Anyway, this is before we shifted, and I popped her in the bath, ran in the room, took the tooth and put a coin there. Anyway, when she came out the bath, I said, oh, look, what's happened? And she's like, did you see them? And I told a white lie. I was like, yeah. Like, I saw the fairy. And she was so excited that Mummy had seen the fairy. And to this day, she still believes me that I saw the fairy. So I'm going to have some explaining to do in a few years. Another Tooth Fairy confession would be... Oh, do I have another Tooth Fairy confession? I'm sure I had two, but my mind's just gone blank. What would it be? Okay, my mind's gone blank. We'll move on to the next one. Right, the next one would be... Oh, this is a naughty one. Very naughty. Ringing up the school because my daughter had a cold. Now, the truth is, she did have a cold, and I was telling the truth. But I did omit to tell them that we were going to Disneyland. So, yes, when my daughter she just turned 5, and she just started school, and I wanted to take my daughter to Disneyland. We had a long time apart due to some misunderstandings or false things that happened, and we were back together, and I wanted to give my daughter a wonderful holiday. And so she did have a cold, but we went to Disneyland and we had the time of our life. It was the best holiday ever. And I did tell the school she had a cold, but I didn't tell them the part when we went on holiday. Now, I don't recommend doing this because obviously it's not a brilliant thing to do, but it was well worth it when she was 5 years old. And being an early years teacher, I actually think, personally, that you can learn a lot exploring and going places. You can learn just as much to help your child's development as you can sitting at a desk as a 5-year-old. Now that my daughter's 7, I would not dream of doing anything like that because she's in her full education and she's getting a lot out of school, and if she missed time off for a holiday, then, well, it would be lovely, but really she would probably miss out on things, and so I wouldn't do it at an older age. But I did do that when she just started school, and that's my naughty confession. Last but not least, well, not last, second to last, on our way home from Disneyland, oh my goodness me, this is like the most embarrassing thing ever. I was walking, I took Sylvia to the toilet on the train. We had to walk 5 carriages to get to the right one. She went to the toilet, I went to the toilet, and then finished, and we had to walk 5 carriages back. We all walked through the carriages, all the way down 5 carriages, and then I realised that my skirt was tucked in my knickers, and I was like, oh my goodness. Everyone had seen my butt, well, my knickers. It was so embarrassing, but that's what happened to me, so maybe that was payback for taking her out of school when I shouldn't have. But that's a parenting confession. Last but not least is co-sleeping. I love to co-sleep with my daughter. Now, I know some people do this, some don't believe in it, but I love to snuggle up with my daughter and go to sleep and have a cuddle. Now, I do that. I don't sleep in a bed all night, but sometimes we will fall asleep together in the evening, and then I'll wake up and think, oh man, what's happened? And I'll realise I've gone to sleep. So we'll have a cuddle, fall asleep together, and then I'll get back in my own bed. But I love to have cuddles and sleep in my daughter's bed with her, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Culturally, different countries have different views on this. I know where I grew up in New Zealand, that's actually quite a normal thing in some of the cultures over there, especially the Maori and Polynesian cultures, to share beds. But I like to have cuddles and snuggle with my daughter and sleep in a bed with her sometimes, and then pop into my own bed later on at night. So, yep. That's my confessions. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it went on for a long time, but thanks for listening and have a lovely day. Okay, see you later. Bye.